All right, let's continue now to give you some reaction when it comes to that press briefing we saw from the KZN Police Commissioner Mkhwanazi. Let's bring in now Pierre Gildenhuys, who is the Head of Forensic Investigations at D&K Management Consultants. He joins us now live via our video link. Mr. Gildenhuys, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. Let's start off here. What do you make of that press briefing in which we saw Mkhwanazi basically going out of his way to implicate major and very senior politicians and also very senior officers in the activities of wrongdoing in the country?
Good evening, and I think not only myself but many South African citizens have by now run out of popcorn. I think the press briefing that the General gave, like Ian Cameron said, something had to give. We as a nation, South African citizens, have long been saying that there's corruption in high levels, that the corruption at station level is not the only corruption that takes place in the South African police force. Now that he's acting as a whistleblower and he's exposing these allegations and he's exposing certain elements of corruption and backdoor meetings, I think it opens up a conversation that needs to be had in terms of where we are heading with the South African police services and what can be done to improve it.
And Pierre, something that has also come out is the issue around criminal syndicates. And maybe tell us more about, the character and the nature of criminal syndicates in the country and how they infiltrate politicians.
I think it's important, firstly, that any South African citizen needs to understand that we are not talking about a criminal that is operating by himself. We are speaking about a syndicate. Syndicates in general have their own hierarchy. They have their own structure. They have their own chain of command, and they adapt rapidly to any changes into anything that occurs. We need to understand that syndicates overall is entrenched in our politics, in the day-to-day running of the country. They have their own sources, their own funding. They're a powerful entity that deals with crime. They fund these syndicates through their own illicit activities, whether it be drug trafficking, human trafficking, various extortions that take place with high-ranking officials, as we now see. It's important that we understand that these syndicates is entrenched in our day-to-day protection. Like the General said in his press briefing, he has people with guns. He has people to look after him. The average day-to-day South African citizen don't have those things. And if we can't get the basics right to protect the citizens, what are we doing? What is the South African police force there for other than to protect and serve the country? And I think what he has exposed during his press briefing, whether the allegations have sustenance to them, I think there's always three sides of the story, his side, the other side, and the truth. I think we need to keep in mind that these are allegations at this point, but I don't think he would put himself in the line of fire like he did if these allegations are unsubstantiated. He's put himself right in the center, and he welcomed. He said in a roundabout way, if I have, and that's how I interpret it, he said, if I have to die for this, I have to die for this, but the truth needs out. And I commend him for that. And I think we as a nation could also be shocked if not only high-ranking officials like himself blow the whistles, but also on lower day-to-day dealings with the SAPS on station level. If we can have more people like him just to bring it out to the open and start the discussion, we are on the right path.
Yeah. And Pierre, staying with the issue of sustenance, right? And one would even ask, how can these allegations be verified? I mean, we even heard there General Sibiya saying that he should bring forward the evidence. And many South Africans now want to know, how can we begin a process of verifying these major allegations in which you are saying that it takes a lot for a police commissioner to come forward and give out a press briefing, and at the same time one would say, if really there is no evidence here?
I think we can talk about two different things. We can talk about the admissibility of his evidence, whether it was obtained legally, and that will, of course, I can only assume, be judged by a court. When they say, he's dealing with cell phone forensics, he's dealing with digital forensics, surely there would have to be a process where those type of evidence pieces are tested to see whether they are admissible or not. And I think after that, surely I think we're all in anticipation for a response from the minister, from Commissioner Sibiya. I think the minister gave a very loose, avoiding answer to what he's heard, saying that he would apply his mind in due time. And I think that in due time could also be a big issue, because when is in due time? How long is in due time going to take? Whether or not a panel has to be appointed to do the investigation, or whether or not a special task force or task team has to be assembled to do this investigation on behalf of all South Africans, I think that would be the first step to verify, to see the evidence that he's talking about, see where it comes from, check the admissibility, and take it from there.
All right, Pierre, thank you so much for your time. That's Pierre Gildenhuys there, just giving us his insight in terms from a forensic investigation point of view. When it comes to those startling revelations being made there by General Mkhwanazi, the KZN Police Commissioner.